I just want to share with you how excited I am to be here and to be partnering PBL Path with PBL Propel. We met, in August? And we met many, many times over Zoom to plan this conference. And it was just so much fun to really try and come up with a very immersive, hands-on experience that really models project-based learning. So in the process, I've made new friends, which I'm so excited about, and hope that we can continue this work. Thank you for being here. I know many of you are in different parts of your PBL journey, and so I want you to remember that the wisdom is in the room. I'm not imparting the wisdom, it's all here. And together we'll be constructing new ways to think about teaching and learning in service of our students. So we're going to start off with a game. So in project-based learning, we launched the project, okay? We call it an entry event. And the whole idea with that is we want to grab the kid's heart. Because if we get the heart, we know the mind is going to follow. And so we're going to do the same thing. We're trying to really model project-based learning throughout the conference so you get a sense of some of the strategies that we use. So let me explain this game. So in the middle of your table, you have one package of Post-it notes. I want one person from the table to hold that pack of Post-it notes. Everybody needs to have a writing implement. And what we're going to do, the other thing, we play this game in silence, but we know there's many other ways to communicate, right? Many other even more powerful ways. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a prompt. And so the first person is going to write down the first word that comes to mind, and they're going to rip it off, and they're going to slap it in the middle of the table so everybody can see it. And then that person is going to pass the Post-it pad to the right, and the other person then adds on. We're going to go around and around as many times as we can, and then we'll do something with all of our thoughts. So for example, if I were to say the prompt is dog, what might be the first thing that comes to mind? Bite. And what might be another word? Cute. Okay, so that's the whole idea. You don't have to build off of the first person's response. You're just adding to it. So let's take a minute to kind of maybe clear things a little bit on your table so you can see the Post-it notes. Are there any questions? I have the instructions up there.
Volume increase. Increase the volume.
And could I get someone to, when I say go, time for 2 minutes? Yes, I am. I'm going to give you a prompt. All right, I am going to show you the prompt. Are there any questions? All right. What comes to mind when you think about project-based learning? We have 2 minutes. Go ahead and go. First person, pass the pad to the right.
Micki, everybody has to do it? Everybody?
Yes, every table.
Sorry. Yeah, everybody. Sorry. Yeah, the next one.
You have 30 seconds left.
Yes. No, you write the next one.
I think we're going to add 30 more seconds. All right, do I have a table that can share how many Post-it notes they have in the middle of their table? 7. Is there a group that has more than 7? How many? 10? 10? 20? 12, okay. 14? 11, okay. Anyone more than 14? All right. So it's a brainstorming. Now, you're not done. What you're going to do now... Oh, we're done. 15. Wow. 18. Okay, there we have 18. Okay, great. All right, here's the second step. Okay, we can't be writing anymore. We're done. Alrighty, what I want you to do is I want you to look at the Post-it notes and I want you to categorize them. There's no wrong or right way to categorize them. Just put them into categories. Any questions about that? All right, with me on 3, 2, and 1. All right. What were some of the categories that came up for the table groups?
Ma'am, like you said, skills and ways of learning is what we could.
Okay, great. Skills and ways of learning. Anyone else have a similar?
Okay, I want volunteers. Can you pick up,
we got
Nisha, also
inclusion.
pick up a mic and be around. Mosam, you could also just pass it on.
Student voice and choice, that they have a voice and a choice in project-based learning.
We also had what we learn. So in that we have interdisciplinary ideas and real-world knowledge as a category.
Great, great. One more table group? Yes.
Raise your hand. Let the mic go there quickly.
Ma'am, we have categorized them into 2 categories, activities and independent inquiry.
So I want to just take a moment to unpack that activity. So it's really aligned with creative thinking. You're brainstorming as many ideas as you can come up with, and then I asked you to categorize them. In the world of creativity, that's flexibility and how you actually categorize it. This is a great entry event to use even with kids. So for example, I just wrote a curriculum on the gold rush in the United States, and the opening activity was, what comes to mind when you hear the word gold? And so then they did the rip, slap, pass. And it was very interesting because you get a sense of the kids' perspective and where they're coming from. All right, so now we're going to be on a more serious basis. I want to take some time to do some storytelling, okay? Stories are so powerful. Stories are a way to connect with others. It builds empathy, and it removes the rational mind and really brings in the heart and the emotion. So I'm going to have you think about your story, and here is your prompt. What is the most powerful learning experience you've ever had? We're going to take about 4 minutes to write down. It may be in school, it may not have been in school, but just think about what made it so powerful. You're going to have an opportunity to share your story with another person in the room. So let's just take a moment. Let's do some quiet journal writing about your most powerful learning experience ever. All right, it's story time. So what you're going to do, you're going to find a person in this room that you have never met. You're going to take a moment to introduce yourselves. And then you're going to pick who is going first. And that person will have 2 minutes to share their story. You as their partner, you are just listening. We're just letting the storyteller tell their story. What you are doing, though, as you listen to the story, think about some of the attributes of this powerful learning experience that's unfolding. Any questions about that? Okay, so we're going to give you a couple minutes to find a new person, and then we're going to say, okay, it's story time, and we'll put the timer to 2 minutes. The person who is telling their story first will have 2 minutes. The other person, you need to bring paper or your journal to write down the things that you're hearing, the attributes that you're hearing. Any questions about that?
Is the instruction clear?
Please leave your table. Yes, go find somebody new. So let's all stand up, find a new person in the room. All right, that is time. With me on 3, 2, 1. If I can get everyone's attention. All right, what we're going to do now, who can tell me what we're doing next?
All right, everyone, the time is up.
All right, 5,
4, 3, 2, 1, and we stop. Statue.
All right, what we're doing now.
So you got next instructions.
All right, may I have an attribute from this table?
Patience.
Patience. How about from this table?
Trust.
So there was evidence of trust in the powerful learning.
Kindness.
There was flexibility.
Developing curiosity.
Great.
Empathy. Building connections.
Building connections.
Yeah.
Consistency.
Diversity.
Reflective.
Reflective.
Diversity.
Open-mindedness.
Confidence.
Collaboration.
Connect.
Collaboration was evident.
Dexterity.
Okay, there is an agency, voice, choice, ownership.
Transformative. Voice, choice, ownership.
Perseverance. Perseverance.
Connection.
Being receptive.
Nice. Let me get over to this side of the room. Perfect. Okay.
Unexpected. Unexpected.
Unexpected.
We have open-mindedness back here. Creativity here.
Metacognition. Metacognition.
Metacognition.
Skill-oriented. Skill-oriented. Being a risk taker.
All right. Did we get to every table?
Skill-oriented. Skill-oriented.
Skill-oriented. Skills are important. All right. What I'd like you to do is take a look there. These are all the attributes that came out of your story around powerful learning. What those attributes are. Take a look, and we're going to look for some patterns and some trends. And we're going to think about how that aligns with project-based learning. So you can take these attributes from the perspective of the learner, but also from the perspective of the teacher or mentor. How many shared a powerful experience that did not take place in the classroom? Go ahead and raise your hands. Okay, so we have a number of stories where the powerful learning happened outside of a classroom, not in the classroom. Okay. All right. I want you to keep those attributes in mind as we move on through the next 3 days. So every project has an essential question that really serves as the focal point for inquiry in order to drive the project. Our driving question for the next 3 days is to establish your why for PBL. What's your why? And what we're hoping is together we're going to construct our whys around PBL that will inform our actions that we'll take when we go back to our school sites. I'm going to take a moment and talk about reflection, and that actually came up as one of the attributes. So what we do in project-based learning is we go back and forth between building knowledge and understanding and then applying that. So we're going to build some knowledge and understanding around the role of reflection in project-based learning. Anybody at this table want to read this quote out loud?
Thank you. PBL and wisdom. The three methods we may learn wisdom: first by reflection, which is the noblest; second by imitation, which is the easiest; third by experience, which is the bitterest. Confucius. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Is there somebody here that would like to read this quote from John Dewey?
We do not learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on experience. So John Dewey said it.
Thank you. So you think about that. We can have a good experience or a bad experience or a not so great experience, but if we don't reflect on it, we can't make changes in the future, okay? So thinking about that reflection piece, it is key to project-based learning. So the what for reflection, and that to me is one of the most powerful parts of reflection and project-based learning. How are my students growing and changing? The how, project journals, schedule formative assessments, checkpoints along the way. So you have a reflection learning log for the next 3 days. So the why, we want students to be able to reflect on the content and to think about how they can apply it in new situations. We don't want them just to memorize the content. We want them to innovate with the content. Reflection on the project helps them think about how they're going to approach the next project. To think about how would I do this differently. So now they're really leading their own learning, right? They're taking responsibility for their learning and then reflecting on their own growth. How have I grown in this project? So in front of you, you have a learning log, and we'll be doing reflections after each of the keynotes or sessions. And it's going to be an opportunity for you to hold that as you move through the next 3 days. Because one of the things we're going to be doing as a culminating product is coming up with an action plan of how you're going to take this knowledge back to your school, what action or how you're going to launch PBL in your school, wherever you are in the process. So you'll be using those log entries on Sunday when we begin to think about our action plan.